is going to be really relevant to you right now.
Yep, it
Because
is
their
relevant to
AC
that
is
too.
broken.
Yep, yep. And that is our start. Hello and welcome to the Mega Monster Cast, where today we are talking about episode 7 of Ultraman Arc. I am Nick, with me is Josh,
Hello there.
and yeah, we're talking about an episode that has to do with heat, which is very topical considering I have been dealing with a lot of heat recently. Um, yeah,
He's wanted
uh,
by the police.
yep. Um, so out of the two armors that we've had in the show so far, I thought this one was the dumber looking one in like the press release stuff, but it's much cooler in practice, I think.
Yeah, once they actually brought the armor out and started using it, I'm like, okay, it's actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only thing I didn't really like was the buckler
Yeah,
shield thing.
yeah, the buckler is probably my least favorite part about it. Yeah, for a speed type, I think this is actually like a really good way of showing off that it's a speed
Hmm.
type form. Like I think it really works as that.
Yeah,
Uh
it's pretty dope actually.
yeah. Yeah, we actually get introduced to that with a flashback to Yuma drawing that as a kid, and his
Oh,
mom talking to him about how the moon is always up there and it's watching out for everybody.
and she needs to be well, not she. He needs to be a person like the moon.
Yep, that's totally not going to come back anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah. Then we get Hoshimoto in a heat wave. I like the effect that like the screen of the
was like
TV is like,
hazy.
yep, yeah, it has that like the heat warp to it, which I really appreciate. And that everyone's holding like ice bags to their heads. Fun fact, me and my charges, let's say, at one point had to take a bunch of wet paper towels and hold them to our heads to stay. Yeah, it was bad.
No.
Yeah, no, that was like my solution one day.
Oh God.
That was
Hey,
like
come here.
recently too. Like that's within the last couple of days. So like I saw him with his ice pack on. I'm like, yeah, I get that. I feel your pain, Bucko. I actually wrote down the AC is broken and everyone is really hot. This is hitting way too close to home.
But you know what? You know what can fix this? A dramatic icy cold coffee.
Oh yeah. Yep. No, it works. Like I like
I
that
hated it.
UP is using its advanced AI to figure out the best beans to make iced coffee for them. Like it has nothing better to do. It's like, all right, they need something to keep them cool, and Shu's been talking about coffee for weeks. Um, iced coffee, go.
I love how they're just also like, yeah, this is an appropriate use of work tech. He's like, no, yes it is.
Yep. And then we get our alarm.
No, I wasn't yelling at you. I'm sorry.
Josh is with his new Dago.
Everybody meet Kyber. You'll pity.
Yeah.
And now
Then
my camera's cockeyed.
yeah. Yeah, then we the skip team has to go handle an alarm because of a weird smell and a leak, like a geyser-esque leak coming from the ground. People think that a kaiju's about to attack, which again, like
This
the thinnest reasoning, but they're always right.
this part blew my mind because like Yuppie gets burned and
Mhm.
audibly yells. Does he have sensory like glands in him now?
They designed a robot that could feel pain. That's what they did.
This is horrible.
Yep, they designed a robot that is able to feel pain.
This is literally the most unethical thing they could do.
No, this is how they made sure it was able to feel empathy.
Oh god.
If it doesn't know what pain is, it won't understand why we don't want it, and it'll kill us. We need it to feel pain too.
No, this is how we get Blade Runners.
Yep, it's okay. We just need to limit its lifespan. UP will die in about 3 months, and they'll get a new UP. And
I
this one will
hope
be like
he's.
Sad Eye UP, named
And
Bud
just makes this
P.
incredible speech when it's dying, and
Yep,
everyone will think they're robots when they're not robots, but they are robots.
yep. And
Fucking
then in the 2010s, we'll get confirmation that he is in fact a robot.
I
Bond will be a
fucking
robot the entire time.
I fucking hate 2049.
I actually enjoyed that movie quite a bit. We can talk about that another time. Yeah. So yeah, we get this cool saber-tooth tiger, this
I
fire
love
tiger
the
called.
design.
Yep, Homger I think is cool. There's like one or two nitpicks I have with it, and it's mainly just the way it moves.
Um, the only part like I really hated with it is when it went bipedal to fight.
hmm That's one of the ones I had the biggest problems with. It's that, and like there's a couple of kicks where like it's clearly a human leg kicking,
Yeah,
and it just bothered me a little bit.
yeah, it's like the Pokemon problem. Just keep a select few quadrupedal. Don't make them do any bipedal stuff,
hmm
and it'll look great. And they ruined it.
Yeah, no, it's again I'll say though like pretty dope design.
Oh yeah.
Um, we also get a psychic. We get a woman psychically telling Yuma that like, hey, maybe just leave, just go away, which we find out is some sort of spirit that is
I
connected to Homger and is
I
maybe
oh
the
this
spirit of Homger
I
in the end.
I don't is it. I also this part also kind of like bugged me because
Yeah,
Yuma's the only one that can see him, but or see her, and she absolutely refuses to tell him any information about why he should just leave.
I mean she does, but she gets like roundabout when she does. Like she's very roundabout in letting him know that. So we're getting ahead of ourselves. So yeah, Yuma fights Homger. We get like a psychic attack from the spirit lady on him,
That
and
that also,
yeah,
she's just like, "Hey, stop!"
yep,
And then the most outrageous sucker punch.
yeah, yeah. Like I'll say this: 90% of the episode I really like. 10% of the episode I have gripes with.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, like the psychic attack thing was kind of weird, but whatever. The fact that they couldn't figure out right away. So anyway, we get like this whole like lore dump. When Ubot, the UP head, goes to explore the body. First of all, we find out that there's like sort of two vital signs, which is like anyone with half a brain should have realized that it's pregnant. Like,
Is pregnant?
yeah, like it's very like it's weird for them to assume, oh, it must have two hearts, which is why we're picking up two vital signs. It can't possibly be two separate ones.
Yeah, especially since the second heartbeat is a lot smaller.
Yep. I mean, like they make the argument that like they've run into kaiju that have multiple hearts before, but like I feel like
one
There,
near the womb area.
yeah, I feel like it was very clear. Like they should have been able to deduce it, but whatever. And then we get like some like, oh, maybe it's nocturnal. That's why it's asleep right now. And we also find out that it's this tiger of legend, Homger, and that disaster falls when it like pops up, and there's this woman who keeps showing up in all the artwork of it. Couldn't possibly be that woman that Yuma ran into, except he obviously picks it up right away.
That and another thing, like, because Yuppie also does research on this thing, and Yuma clearly here in a minute just says, "I didn't mention this, but there's a spirit lady with her, with you or Hungar."
Yep.
Did I didn't want to mention it. So did Yuppie also just not want to mention that?
Yuppie doesn't believe in spirits. Yuppie is a robot that has no concept of what a spirit is. He doesn't understand that idea.
See, I feel like the thing is, Yuppie is smarter than everybody else in this show,
Yeah.
and I hate Yuppie.
Yep. So he's assumption Yuppie wanted them dead.
Yes,
Yeah, that's fair. That's a
he.
sound assumption. I get where you're coming from on that one. If that was the actual answer, I wouldn't be shocked, let's say that.
It's the iRobot rule where it can't hurt, but it can just withhold information.
Yep. Yeah. So then we get the skip team evacuating the area during the day so that when it goes active again at night, they can be ready for it. And the spirit lady calls Yuma out like, so is Ultraman only there to like kill? Like, is that what you're there for? Is just killing people or killing kaiju? Like, can't you do
Yes.
something else?
No.
Don't you
I'm
have
here
to?
to murder everything.
Do you always have to make this absurd like ass pull of attack to kill something? Do you have to somehow whip the beam to just dome a monster? That was still one
Does
of my
your
favorite.
beam turn into a fishing rod?
Yep. Are you gonna like make a are you gonna use your barrier and a spinning buzzsaw blade to make a weird ass fucking fan blade?
I would have loved it if it was a boomerang and he came back.
Hmm. I would put money on that's gonna happen by the end of the season.
Oh my god, I hope so.
He's gonna do the thing where he snaps the barrier in half again, but then he's gonna put the two ends together and throw it like a boomerang.
I hope. I hope it happens. Or he makes the barrier and turns into a paper airplane. And he puts people on and chucks it.
Like with the way he functions, which I mean, again, it was more. We saw more of that stuff in the early episodes. Like, I feel like now we're starting to get a little more traditional with things, but like, that's really possible around like episode 12. We'll get something like that again.
Oh god.
Like episode 12, maybe around like episode 18 again, and then towards the finale. But yeah. Uh, so then Yuma tries to use Ark's power to like peacefully resolve the situation, and it's just not happening. So he uses the power of the moon after another flashback to his mom talking about how the moon is there to protect people and it's always there for you and all this other jazz. So then he uses his moon armor powers to transform into a speed type, which can make cool ass after images and a
Totally Goku.
vortex. Yep. Uh, honestly, everything it did in this fight was cool. Like I do like this form a lot. I think it's still it looks a little again, I had problems with this when they like released the concept work, when they released like the stills of the suits. It in
Yeah,
motion does look better.
yeah, in motion it looks great. The stills, good God, did they do poorly on those?
Oh yeah. Like and obviously it in action like with the effects too and like having the after images, having like that vortex it creates adds a lot of gravitas to it, which I
Mm-hmm.
appreciated. Um, and then so Ark traps it in a vortex. He hugs it, it cries on him, and then it explodes.
Yeah, it just straight up has, Godzilla v Destroya vibes and just like it's meltdown time.
Yep. So it explodes, and then
It
as the
had a
sun,
baby.
yep, as the sun rises, this smaller Homeger is being comforted by the spirit lady, and as the sun rises, she gets Homeger face markings on her because she is the spirit of the Homeger, I guess. And
She's
it,
whatever Naruto is.
I'm gonna be honest, when I saw her face like do that thing towards the end, I'm like, this is creepy looking. I think they were going for something and they missed it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. She's definitely a Jinchuriki or whatever they call it.
Yeah, yeah. She's gonna use that power to try to overthrow the Sand Village or something.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck Sand. It's
uh,
always coarse and it gets everywhere.
Yeah. So then we have the skip team go back. Yuma's kind of like unwinding, and then we get our next time on where we find out that Hoshimoto's getting into crypto. It's what it is.
Why the crypto?
Cause we need a way to introduce
The, int-
Hanagon.
the best monster so far?
He's so I'm 100% certain he's Showa. 1 second. Let me look at this. I'm willing to bet this. Yeah, Kanagon is a yet first made in episode 15 of Ultra Q. So from the original Ultra series before we even had Man.
Oh god.
Yep. Yeah, so this was it was a pretty good episode. It was like trying to go for the feels. Like it didn't quite hit me as hard as I was hoping for, but it was still like a solid episode. Trying to look up who wrote it. It was written by Kyoko Katsuya, who did a few like episodes on the Ultra series from like X Orb, which we haven't gotten to that Orb episode yet, but that's a pretty fun Orb episode when we get to it. Jeed, which was honestly a really good Jeed episode too. Rube, which is two okay Rube episodes. Taiga, I haven't watched that episode yet, and then this one. Um, and then it was directed by Tomonobu Koshi, who directed some episodes of mostly new gen Ultra. Taiga, Zet, Trigger, Decker, and Blazar. He did episodes 8, 9, no, 9, 10, 18, and 19 of Blazar, which were Planet of Music, which is a banger of an episode. Parent and Child, which is another banger of an episode.
Yes.
Towering Terror and Light and Flame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which, I mean, the episode was very well shot. I'll give it that. I feel like, again, the writing was all right. It wasn't as strong as I was hoping for like them trying to do a really emotional episode. I'm hoping we'll get like something really like hard hitting soon.
Yeah. Because how long is this season again?
It'll be like 25 episodes with some clip shows thrown in.
So, I mean, we're getting close to having like a mid-season finale.
We'll get that around episode 12, I want to say. Like 12 or 13 is usually when we get that. And he'll get like some sort of he'll probably get another form at that point. I know there's a Saturn form that's shown up at like some of the like at the stage show stuff that they've done with Arc. So I'm wondering if the Saturn armor is going to show up in the show. And then we'll probably get like another one towards the end of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm imagining that's for when we're gonna get hit with our big emotions.
Yeah, probably around like episode 12 we'll get a big emotional episode. Maybe one where like Yuma loses faith in himself or something.
Or maybe the team finally figures out who an Ultraman really is.
It happens in most shows. I'm gonna say like most shows people figure it out by the end.
I feel like this one they should have. They're like Ultraman's there, Ultraman shrunk. Yuma's there.
Nah, that's crazy. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right. It has to be somebody different.
Yep.
Just like fucking Orb.
Yeah, the amount of times that Jeddah like straight up realizes it and then has it rationalized away from him.
Uh,
Yep. Yep. But yeah. So any final thoughts on this episode?
solid episode. Not not the worst they've had, but I am happy with how the armor turned out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like a highlight. I was worried the armor was gonna end up being like pretty bad, and I was like fairly pleasantly surprised by how well it turned out.
Yeah, like it's still kind of with like the sun armor. I wish it went a little further down past his
Mm.
chesticles, but it still actually looked better in my opinion
Yeah,
than
yeah,
the sun armor.
yeah. And again, I thought this was gonna be the worst one, the worst of the two. So I'm pleasantly surprised by how well it turned out.
I can't wait till he gets his Uranus
It's,
armor.
it's gonna be a big old hole.
Just a big old butt plug.
Yep. But yeah. Tune in next time when we talk about the episode that's all about crypto.
Yeah, that isn't 7 years too late.
I mean, hey, it's Japan. We don't know what their crypto market's like.
That's true.
Yep. Anyway, later.
Why?